Well, good evening, ladies, gentlemen, mommies and daddies, hamsters and gerbils, and manic depressive heavy equipment operators everywhere. DK, Mr. V Amps, with another Strobocon, or Strobotuner, Conn Strobotuner. This one is a little dirty. It's an ST-8, so it's a late one. We already have an ST-8, but I was actually planning on buying this one long before I bought the other ones, but that's a long story. This came from a company where they rehabilitate organs, so this was used professionally. I was told it works fine. I think that's great. We'll take a look at it, check it out. We definitely need to wipe the dirt off of it. It's just, you can tell it's been carted around a lot. But the first thing that struck me as a problem was the earth plug had been removed, and I don't like that. One of these aftermarket plugs, my worry was, because it's got to fit between the door and here, I was concerned the door wouldn't close with this in here, so I actually set it in there and was able to close the door. So that's a good thing, and that will be the first thing that we want to address here. Pardon me if I got in the shot. So we'll chop off the bad plug and do a little clip and strip here and get a good, safe, grounded plug on here. And son of a monkey, I nicked the hot wire. This is why you're supposed to use wire strippers, kids, and not just do this with a razor knife. So we're going to do it again with a razor knife, only slightly more carefully. Try to score that very gently. There we go. Okay, that's okay. Now we got that, and you can see it's an old school cord with the sort of cardboard and thread kind of reinforcements in there. So we have those three. We're going to put this power plug on, and then we'll plug it in and see if it explodes. Okay, I take it for granted. Maybe we have some total rookies watching who have never had to change an electrical plug before. So, I don't know. You can take that apart. That has 3 screws that come out, and then there's 2 screws and that'll open up. So, what we have is actually the common on this side, which is marked W for white, and then G for ground, and then that'll be the black wire. And just a matter of doing a little clip and strip, and you can tell that they really tried hard to goof-proof this. They color-coded the screw heads, so you put the correct color wire on the correct terminal. So that's all well and good. Let's see if I have enough. Yes, I did. I have enough wire here. So that's good. And when we do these, we will want to have enough wire to... Well, let's drop that on the floor and then go pick it up. I like to go all the way around the screw in a loop, make a loop and go around the screw. That way it gives it more strength and wants to stay together. But prior to putting any of those on, I need to make sure that I put that collar on, because I can't slide that over afterwards. So, okay, so the plug's on. And this is what I consider a good way to do it. I strip enough copper wire that I can go around the screw, and I put the insulation just so it butts up against. So even if I'm working on this, this is very tight. I shouldn't be able to slip the wires off or pull them off or anything like that. This should be plenty tight, that they're not going anywhere. And then when we bring the collar up and screw the collar down tight, then this should be a pretty safe venture. We don't want the plug to fall off in any way, shape, or form, and we don't want any stray copper whatsoever drifting out from the edges of the plug where it can cause a short. So there we go. That's good. So we'll put the base back on it, screw the base back on, and then we'll be able to tighten this collar, and then we'll be able to plug it in and see how it works. I'm pretty confident that it does work. Again, it came from an organ repair company, and I don't think that a unit that was used in the field, probably up till fairly recently, within the last 10 years, would have been neglected. So it obviously shows some dirt and dust from use, but other than that, I'm pretty confident. Okay, so plug's all the way on. I'm going to have to be careful when I close this lid that it has, enough clearance, because it's just going to fit in there. But that's okay. The alternative, if this would not have fit, because you can see there's a substantial difference between the original plug and this. I could change the entire cord. A pre-molded cord like this is fine, but finding one that's the right gauge, and these are nice and long. I actually like the length of them. So, all right, let's plug it in and see if it explodes. It's plugged in. This is an ST-8. I'll have to compare its serial number to the other one and see if it's older or younger than my other ST-8. And we turn it on. This light comes on slowly. This light is not tremendously bright. Okay, there's our neons. And our disc begins to rotate. And it appears to have reached full RPM. We're trying to stop the dot on the first rung there. Let's bring the dot in so we can actually see it. This calibration adjustment knob feels smoother out of the gate than any of the other ones I've used to this point. The controls feel smooth. So let me put it on operate. I'll turn the gain on the microphone up halfway. We'll put it in operate. And as I'm talking, you can, I don't know if you can see, but you can see it's blipping. So it is reading a pitch and trying to show it through the bulbs. So this is a good sign. Everything looks normal. Let's try a different pitch. This switch has one of the best click actions of any of these. Most of them are sticky and sloppy. The motor is whisper quiet. My other ST-8, when I kind of get over into the D and E, the motor gets a little noisy. Only on certain pitches and RPMs. And the only difference I'm hearing from snap to snap is just a slight audible difference in hum from the unit, which is kind of just the hum of the motor, but it's very, very quiet. Okay, there's a very, very moderate hum and buzz here, but very, very modest, not much. Okay, I'm pretty certain I made it all the way around the circle. What note are we even on? I can't tell. This was obviously very, very, very well used, because the markings here on the switch are almost worn off by hands. This is probably why it turns so smoothly. It does work correctly. There's nothing wrong with it. But I think this looks like feels like it was screen printed. I might have to come up with a creative way to clearly mark this so I can tell where I am on the dial, because right out of the gate it's a little difficult to see. But other than that, operation looks good, seems to behave well. The microphone obviously works. This one has wear and tear, but this is healthy work wear and tear. And the motor runs very smooth, so I'm confident this was handled with care, as opposed to the few school units I got, which may have been banged around a bit. If you look on the bottom, there's a big blob of goo or glue, or I don't even know what that is, but I don't want it on here. And the feet on the bottom have been replaced. The original feet were riveted, and it looks like they've been removed and replaced with these larger feet with screws. The larger feet are a good thing, because these, if you're going to set it on top of a piano or an organ or anything, guitar amp, anything that's made of wood or whatever, obviously something soft and pliable, like a soft rubber foot, will give less chance of damaging, and also less chance of noise, vibration. Isolation better. So despite the fact that it's working, we're going to slide it out of the chassis anyway, because that's what we do on this channel. Okay, I already see, okay, there's a crap ton of dust bunnies in this thing. Worse than any other I've seen so far. Okay, that's really bad on the dust bunnies. Yeah, these feet were put in with a machine screw. I'm not going to get rid of them or anything. They're fine. I kind of like them. But they could have used a shorter screw. Super dusty. Super dusty. But the tubes all appear to be Conn labeled. This one is an RCA. The 12AU is an RCA. The others I can't tell. Okay, this is the 210 microfarad, and that's the 240. Notice this 10 microfarad, this 210 microfarad, this one appears physically smaller than the other 210 microfarad that was in the other one. So I'm thinking this one's newer. Yeah, I'm thinking it's newer. And this paper box looks to be like a brown paper rather than the gray paper that the other one was. So I don't know if there's any significance there. I'm going to need a smaller screwdriver bit. If I have one in my pile of tools. We'll take the bottom off and see if this has the same types of capacitors or something different. And then while we're in there, we'll spray a little bit of cleaner in the switches, in the pots and things, and then we'll take a chance to wipe all the grubby dirt off of this. But I'm very impressed with how quiet the motor runs, and the neons are very responsive to the voice. Just the sound of my voice, you can very clearly see the image on the screen. So I have no doubt in my mind that this is going to be a good unit, maybe after a little bit of servicing. So I paid a little more for this than I did for those ones I got from the school, but and physically this one looks tougher, but I think it's just because this has been in the field and been used. Okay. And we have lots of TRW branded caps, which is like what we saw in the others. The caps in here do appear to be the stock original stuff. So, no toasty resistors or anything. I see no signs of leakage on the filter caps. yeah, I think this is going to be okay. I don't think I'm going to do any surgery on it. I think I'm just going to wipe it clean and put a little bit of... Okay, this is something I never noticed. This one has a fuse in line here. I don't know that I saw a fuse in any of the other units. I don't remember seeing a fuse in the other units. There might have been one, but I don't remember it. We'll have to go check those other videos from previous Conn Strobotuners. But looks like all Allen Bradley style brown resistors, and then we have the white or cream color resistors. So I don't see any of the dark brown resistors they refer to as roundies. This is probably later in time than that was. So she looks good. The light bulb, to me this light bulb seemed a little dim. Maybe it's because there's a big dirt ball in behind the reflector here, because this is just a, it's a light bulb back here that has to just shine light, and then it's just can be seen through this little tunnel. So there's nothing majestic about that. It's pretty simple. So a brighter bulb with the same voltage would probably be cool. This is a 6x4 something. Looks like it. The stamping on it looks more General Electric than it does RCA. But it's a mystery. Good grief, this is dirty. Very, very dirty. This is like bring out the vacuum cleaner or the paintbrush level dirty. This is really bad. I mean, look how thick that dirt is. Good grief. Good grief. What are our 12AQ, or I'm sorry, 6AQ5s? 6AQ5s are, those are RCA type. Of course they say Conn, but we know Conn never actually made their own tubes. And I know I seem like I'm a magnet for these Strobotuners, but I have intonated a number of my guitars and clients' guitars with these, and I am overly impressed with the accuracy. I have taken the time to tune a piano with one of these, and again I was extremely impressed with the accuracy. The results with tuning with one of these versus an electronic pocket tuner are extremely, these are way better than a pocket tuner, let's put it that way. So in our sound studio, when we're making recordings and records and things, we actually tune with these. And I should probably just sign off this video, because essentially all we're going to do at this point is mop up some dirt and put it back in its case, and then put it on the shelf where we can use it. But just to prove my point here, we'll look down at the earth here for a second. Seasickness alert. There's our Radio Shack speaker and Samson we were working on yesterday. There's our Leslie speaker and a stomp box, and Braddock and the reverb tank, and some PV amps and an Epiphone amp and a Gibson amp and a Vox amp, and right there, sitting in the repurposed shell of a carbon PA, is a Strobotuner 8. That's one of our school units that we rehabilitated. So really like these things. They get a lot of use, and we'll get this one fixed up and then put it to use, either traveling around with me, or maybe it'll take that spot as the in-house tuner.